Bank collapse. Yes, Deutsche Bank stock plunging to an all-time low following Merkel's rejection of a bailout. Wow.
As you have heard lately, the Deutsche Bank was in the spotlight and people were afraid that the Deutsche Bank would collapse like the Lehman Brothers did in 2008. Now the problem that the market fears is that the Deutsche Bank doesn't have enough money to pay their penalties and funding their derivatives positions in the future. However, I think that the Deutsche Bank won't go broke in the short term. The number one reason for that is that because at this moment they have 220 billion euro cash on their balance sheet. 215 billion euro cash on their balance sheet. The second reason why the Deutsche Bank won't go broke is that they can get backup from central banks such as the ECB. Remember a few years ago where the European banks were facing some liquidity problems? Well, in the end, the ECB saved them with a program called LTRO, which was a short-term program for 3 years where the ECB would be funding the liquidity of the European banks. So if the Deutsche Bank has some problems with short-term cash, I am sure that the Deutsche Bank can work out a loan with the ECB. The reason why they would get a loan is that the Deutsche Bank is probably too big to let it fail. And the second reason is that they still have assets that are currently valued at 1.8 trillion euros. Now the third reason is that they can always negotiate their penalties or stretching their lawsuits. They can always work great payment terms or getting the penalties lower, or maybe do them both. As I just mentioned before, they have 1.8 trillion euros of value in assets. So if they need the money, they can sell a little bit of those assets to solve their liquidity problems. For example, recently they sold the British insurer Abbey Life this week for around 1 billion euros, and they are planning to sell their 3 billion euro stake in a Chinese bank. About their risky derivatives position, I'm sure they can handle it well. I mean, 2 years back in 2014 or maybe in 2013, their derivatives position was much bigger. It was around $75 trillion. Now the funny thing is, at that moment, the Deutsche Bank had only around 45 billion euro in cash, compared to today, where they have 215 euro in cash. If the Deutsche Bank didn't collapse back then why would it now? I mean, in a few years' time, they have reduced the derivatives position from $75 trillion to $45 trillion. That is 40% lesser risky investment exposure, and at the same time they have increased the cash position with a factor of 5, which means that they have increased their cash position with 500%. Last Friday, the CEO of the Deutsche Bank wrote a letter to his employees. In that letter, he praised them for good work that they have been doing so far this year. And he told them some facts about the company's current state. Now, the two most important facts for me were that they were still on course with decreasing their risky investments, and that the first 6 months of this year, the Deutsche Bank have made a profit of 1 billion euro pre-tax. Now, if there weren't any extraordinary reduction costs and items, then the profit would be 1.7 billion euro. So for now, I think that the Deutsche Bank will be okay. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to watch more of these kinds of videos, then please subscribe to our channel. We would appreciate that very much. Thank you and have a good trade.